is Eric Reynolds. I'm the Bandana Man. Today is day 3 of our Algonquin trek, and we're on Ragged Lake. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk a little bit about tarps and why you put them up first, and then how do you put them up Algonquin style. All right, first off, it's really important when you come off the water, the first thing you do is to put your tarp up. Right now the weather's pretty good here. Earlier it was raining. But what we want is when you come off the water, you get that tarp up first, because then you can put all your gear under it and organize underneath it. And things would stay dry if it was raining. Also, let's say it's really pouring down hard and you needed to put your tents up. You could technically set them up underneath the tarp and then move them fully set up somewhere else, and that way the inside stays dry. We've configured this tarp in such a manner so that we can cook under here since it was raining earlier. And we're using a liquid fuel stove, so we don't have to worry about catching the tarp on fire since we're using by this big huge fire ring. We have just a little liquid fuel stove over there. So that's why you want to do it. Now, what I'm going to do right now is going to really give you a quick, and this is going to be a quick kind of fast demo on how to put up one of these tarps in the Algonquin style. So first off, what you have to do is you have to put up your ridge line. All right, so follow me over this way and we'll show you the ridge line. The ridge line is this blue line. It stretches between these two trees, and I've tied it down with a taut line hitch right here. Okay, so that's a taut line hitch. We can do another video at another time to show you what the taut line hitch is. But the nice thing about a taut line hitch is you can slide it forward and you can slide it back to tighten it like that. Okay, now what you want to do next after you get your ridge line up, you want to decide how you're going to stake the back of the tarp up. Because it was really windy earlier today, I actually brought a canoe up and tied the back corners to the stern and prow thwarts, okay, because they're pretty heavy. I was afraid that if I put stakes in there, the wind blowing under the tarp would just keep pulling the stakes out. This isn't going to go anywhere, and plus it gives me about another 2 feet of headroom. What I did then, since that's staked down, I knew how much room I had on my tarp. Now, my tarp does not have center guy lines. It does have some black grommets, but what I'm using instead is a lark's head on a ball bearing. This is a plastic ball bearing. What you can do is you stick it through the cloth like this, and then you make a lark's head around it. And I'll show you how to do a lark's head. A lark's head looks like this. You pinch up a loop of rope. That's why you don't want to tighten your ridge line up at first. Leave the ridge line really slack while you're setting this up, and then you can tighten it later. You pinch a section of the ridge line up, you fold it over like this, you put your ball bearing in there, and then you pull this down. And that would be how you then would attach the tarp to the ridge line so that it doesn't move. Okay? Now, coming over here, what we did next is we need to do something with the front to keep the front up. Now I used the 3-pole or the 3 canoe paddles that we had to stake up the front. Okay? You have to take another lark's head and you put it around the T part of the handle here and the corner of the tarp. You stake that one to the ground, but you leave the pole on an angle. See how it's angling in towards the center? Now if you look down, I've got 2 stakes on the inside and 2 on this side on the outside. Okay, you only really need 1 on the outside, but I had an extra one so I stuck it there. So you got 2 on the inside, 2 on the outside, and that's keeping that pole pretty sturdy, right? And the same thing on the other side. Now in the center, because I wanted a little more room since I was cooking under here, I took another paddle, I kind of propped it up with some rocks and stuck it under here. Now, if the wind was coming up really hard and we needed to drop this down to protect the gear, it'd be really easy. All I'd have to do is slide this paddle out, drop this down like this, drop the rest of the paddles down, and my tent went into a wedge shape. And then my tarp would be able to keep all my gear dry, including a pounding rain. We'd be able to kind of scrunch under if we really had to. But right now, this tarp is set up to catch maximum wind, protect us from drizzle, which has been going on for the last day and a half, and allow us to do some cooking. So more later. If you have questions, please hit me back and we'll answer any of your questions. So until later, happy trails, great canoeing.